it's Ian from RTO here. Hope you're all well. Welcome to another album ranking show. Today we are looking at American rock band Shinedown. Formed in 2001. They're from Jacksonville in Florida. They were formed by Brent Smith, who, after the dissolution of his former band, Reeve, Smith was actually still under contract with Atlantic Records. And how's this? He actually recruited the band's original lineup. So this is, I don't know how we got away with it. They just changed their name really from Reeve to Shinedown. So the original lineup was Brent Smith, Jason Todd, guitarist, Brad Stewart on the bass, and Barry Kirch on drums. But that's all. Made 6 albums up to date. So we'll have a look at these albums. Okay, then coming in at number 6, we have the 5th album, released in 2015. This is called Threat to Survival. By this time, Shinedown had changed a couple of members. So on here we have got Brent Smith lead vocals, Zach Myers guitar and backing vocals, Eric bass on the bass, and Barry Kirch on the drums. First track is called Asking for It. Very short, sharp track. This is very, very heavy. Great vocal, nice riffs on this, really good. Second track is Cut the Cord, which is one of their most popular songs. It's got some strong riffs in this, but it's a bit of a cross between Nickelback and Alter Bridge. It's neither one, it's sort of in the middle. That's a pretty cool track. State of My Head, very radio friendly. This is a bit too commercial for me. Now I know you can understand bands doing it, but it sort of goes away from what they were. Fourth track is Outcast. Great drumming on this. Very strong riffs as well. Pretty okay song that one is. How Did You Love? Very catchy riffs in this. Great song. I don't mind that one at all. It All Adds Up. Terrific bass line here from Eric Bass. But it's starting to sound like more of a generic, that mid 2010s rock sound that is so plastic, it's unbelievable. Bit generic then. So the next one, Oblivion, one of my favourite tracks. It's got some great riffs on this, great vocal from Brent, pretty cool track. Dangerous, it's okay I suppose, but it's nothing special. It's just very generic. Thick as Thieves, I'm not very keen on this one. It's just a little bit poppy commercial. How to put it? It's aimed at the teen rock. I've got no problem with that, but it seems they're going backwards instead of forwards. Black Cadillac, it's okay, very mainstream. And Misfits, it's a two-bit generic. Okay, the album's pretty strong. The musicianship, and there's nothing wrong with the musicianship of this album. I just think it's going rather too commercial, and more mainstream instead of alternative rock. But for the good songs that I do like, I'll give it an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 5, we have the most current album, released in 2018, called Attention Attention. It's a concept album depicting an individual overcoming negativity and related problems to be reborn as a new person. Ah, it's about Adele. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but there's all the hype of Adele at the moment. On this album we've got Brent Smith, Zach Myers, Eric Bass and Barry Kirch. The entrance, it's 39 seconds of noises and footsteps and heavy breathing and sort of an intro to the songs. Second track, Devil, really good track. Great driving bass line in this, pretty good riffs in this. I quite like that one. Black Soul, it's not too bad. It's not the best track in the world, but it's still listenable. It's got a great beat to it, so there's nothing wrong with that. Attention Attention, I love this. The metallic sound drum in this is deep and atmospheric and very industrial rock. Very good track. Kill Your Consequence, it's okay. Bit of beat keyboard in there, it's alright. Pyro, the best album track. Very heavy rock. Great vocal from Brent Smith. Terrific. Monsters, it's solid enough. Nothing wrong with that one. Dark Side, it's okay, I suppose. It's not the best song I've heard. Creatures, it's okay again. Evolve, got some heavy riffs in this, but it's sounding that generic rock sound that doesn't enlighten me. Get Up, it's that typical rock for the late tens of 2010s. It's neither one or other really. It just sits there. Special, no, it's just a generic rock sound. I just think there's no individuality in that sound at all. The Human Radio, brilliant. This is better of the later tracks on this album. Great bass line in this, terrific song. And the last track is brilliant. Again, it's that 21st century generic rock. Okay, it has got a great riff to it, but that's the only outstanding thing. The rest of it is so generic. Okay, a concept album. It can be a little confusing at times and very hard to follow the story. But it is. I like the idea, but you have to really sit down and listen to it 3 or 4 times to actually start getting the idea of what's going on. But it's very generic rock. But I'll give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Okay then, number 4. We're going to the debut album. Released in 2003. So this has got Brent Smith on it, Jason Todd, Brad Stewart and Barry Kirch, and there's a certain YouTuber wrote a few songs on here. Rick Beato does his guitar videos. He was involved in this band. He was an engineer on it. Pretty cool. Rick Beato is if you don't follow him, he's a really good bloke. Good guitar player. Like his shows, they are very good. So let's get back to the album. Okay, the first track on here is Fly From The Inside. This is a punchy opening riff. It's a bit shouty lyrics, but they're strong, and Brent Smith has got a good voice, so he sort of gets away with it. Pretty solid track. Left Out. Love the bass line from Brad Stewart in this really heavy riff. and again a terrific vocal from Brent Smith. Pretty solid singer is Brent. Lost in the Crowd. This is written by Brent Smith and Rick Beato. Great song. Starts off quite quiet, goes into a really heavy riff. Great stuff. Really enjoy that track. No More Love. Very solid track. Great riffs. The focal point is that there's a riff that keeps coming and going in this. It's the focal point. Very, very good. Better version. Really like this one again. It's got some quiet moments on it, and then some heavy, strong riffs that back up that quiet, subdued noise of the song, and it is a really solid track. Burning Bright, pretty solid track. Straight out of the books of Creed, Alter Bridge sound, which I love, so that's why I like that one. In Memory, it's just a great, decent rock track. It's not horrible. It's another one of those one of them songs that you tap your feet to. All I Ever Wanted, best song on the album. Got a driving riff with a fantastic bass line that sort of holds this song together, and everything is. It's one of them songs where everything evolves around this bass line. Absolutely brilliant track. Stranger Inside, it's okay, it's not the best track. Lacerated, great drumming in this. Heavy sound, really deep drumming, absolutely brilliant track. Crying Out, not a bad track, solid, good stuff. And 45 is the last track. It's one of them typical slow rock tracks. It's okay. Okay, as a debut album, pretty solid stuff. It amazes me why Derive never recorded an album, because it is the same band, and this is really, really good album. Not a bad way to start. So I'll give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay then, coming in at number 3, we have the fourth album, released in 2012, Amaryllis. My pronunciation is terrible when you've got bunged up, you can't get your words out. So we're back to the current band now, with Brent Smith on the vocals, Zach Myers guitar, Eric bass on the bass, and Barry Kirch as ever on the drums. First track, Adrenaline. Heavy, this is very heavy. Absolutely brilliant. Next song is Bully. Love the bass whole line in this. This is all about the bass and the drums on here. Absolutely brilliant track. Title track, Amaryllis. Really like this one. It's a semi-acoustic track with a nice beat and melody. Pretty solid track. Unity. It's the start of that generic pop rock, teeny rock rubbish. I don't like that one at all. Enemies. Love this again. Great strong riffs, hard-hitting vocals. Absolutely stunning stuff. I'm Alright. This is a little bit different from your normal sort of Shinedown rock, but what I like about it is a pleasant tune and it's got a catchy hook. There's nothing wrong with if it grabs your attention by something a bit different from the band. I like that sort of thing when it catches you, and this one does. Nowhere Kids. It's okay until Brent starts to have a shout, and I don't like shouting on albums. I don't think there's no point. Miracle. Solid enough track. I Will Follow, a bit of a mixed bag track that is. It's okay. For My Sake, really good track. Love that track. Heavy, hard. My Name, Wearing Me Out. Love the dramatic. This song, very dramatic, powerful and energetic. absolutely brilliant. Through a Ghost, one of the weaker songs on the album, but it's not terrible. Okay, yeah, good album, pretty strong album. Although them sort of generic teeny bop rock tracks are starting to pull through. I think it may be the direction they will be going in, who knows. But I'd say 90% of this album is just solid rock again, and I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Coming in at number 2 then, we have the second album, released in 2005, Us and Them. This would be the last album to feature Jason Todd on the bass and Brad Stewart. We'll get it the right way around, Iain. The bassist is Brad Stewart and the guitarist is Jason Todd. So this was the original sort of lineup: Brent Smith, Jason Todd, Brad Stewart and Barry Kirch. First track, The Dream. This is like a little poem thing read by a child. It's absolutely good. Really gets you ready for the album. Really, it's different, and I quite like that. Whoever the young person was did a damn good job on reading this poem. Then we get Heroes, good track, one of my favourite tracks by Shinedown. Again, it's one of them tracks that's dominated by bass and drum. Brilliant. Save Me. Love the start, that heavy bass again. The attacking drums. And then get that bit of guitar. Very, very good track. I Dare You. Again, the strumming on this. Barry Kirch, solid drummer. Always puts in a good performance. Your Majesty, my favourite track. One of my favourite tracks as well. It's that heavy riff and a great vocal by Brent. It's the bass is great in this as well. It's a great track. Beyond the Sun, solid track. Got some great vocals on this. Trade Yourself In. Again, great arrangement with the drums. It seems to be a half beat beyond everything else, but it sounds perfect for the track. Absolutely stonking track. Lady So Divine. This is quite different. It starts off with nice, you think you're going to get this nice gentle rock song, but no, all of a sudden he gets hit by a ball of thunderbolting rock. It's very, very good. Shed Some Light, one of the weakest tracks on the album. I'm not very keen on that one. Begin Again. The guitar work on this is just absolutely superb. Nice way for Jason Todd to depart, leave his mark. Great track. Then we get Atmosphere. Love this riff. Drums are solid. Great rock track. Fake. Nice dirty grungy riffs in this, just especially at the beginning. Great stuff. Someday, this one's not too bad. It's not my favourite, I'm afraid. This is a lot better than the debut album. They continued on that work. They had sort of got not much of an identity on that first album. I think they were sort of caught between the Nickelback, Alter Bridge, but this is when they started to get a sound. Some great tracks on there, and they'd come on leaps and bounds. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. So my number 1, third album, released in 2008, The Sound of Madness. This was the first album that featured Eric Bass and Zach Myers, and it's the only album that to feature Nick Perry as a 5-piece band. So this has got Brent Smith on lead vocals, Zach Meyer rhythm guitar, Nick Perry lead guitar, Eric Bass on bass, and Barry Kirch drums. First track is Devour. Absolutely cracking track. Great drumming on this, and the two guitars sound really good together. Sound of Madness. Again, love the drum on this. Deep, hollowy sound. It's not tinny hollow, it's deep hollow, and it all echoes around you. Great guitars, brilliant track. Second chance, I love this one, that it's got a hooky, great tune to it and a vocal by Brent that's fantastic. Cry for Help, best track they've ever done, the best track on the album. I love that double guitar. It gave this album that extra lift. Absolutely brilliant. The Crow and the Butterfly, got a great solo in this. There's not many solos on these albums, but this has got a great solo. Fantastic stuff. If you only knew a little bit commercial side of Shinedown here, but it's good. The two guitars just give it that extra depth of rockness, as one way of putting it. Sim with a Grin, great track. Lovely guitar work between the two chaps. What a Shame, the slower song sounds better with the two guitars. Really solid. Cyanide, Sweet Tooth, Suicide. Bass is fantastic in it, it's so strong. The two guitars again do work well with this one. Breaking Up Inside, the guitar is awesome. Both guitars are fantastic. Oh, my first cough gotten through the show. Call Me. It's okay, it's not the best track on the album. It's such a shame that they didn't continue with the two guitarists. I think this is what made this album my favourite. That extra depth with two guitars gives it a heavier and deeper sound. I think if they'd have continued as a 5-piece band, I think them albums that were a little bit commercial would have sounded a lot better, because you've got the two guitars to give it an extra depth. Thoroughly enjoy this album. I haven't been listening to this band for that long, but when I put this on for the first time, which would have been about May time, when I started up, I just fell in love with this album. I thought it was just pure solid rock, and I love two guitar players, and I think that's where they've missed the trick here, this band, not going with from this album on with two guitarists. For that reason, I'm going to give this album an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, that's Shinedown. I've put some tracks in the playlist. If you haven't heard of them, go and check them out. If you like Creed and Nickelback and all that, and Alter Bridge and that sort of sound, you'll like these. What else have we got today? Well, of course we've got retro ranking. We're going to look at the Eurythmics. I quite like the Eurythmics. I like Annie Lennox's voice, so we'll look at her songs. Just one more thing, don't forget, we have got a Christmas quiz on the 23rd of December. If you want a quiz sheet to take part, just email me at the email address below and I'll send one on. So I'll be back later to do retro ranking, so take care for now.